Just like Oregon State football special teams, this podcast is a fucking joke. Episode 187 of the Belligerent Beavs podcast starts right now.
Jesus.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Trent Bray, and now we are done. Thank you for listening. That's it. This is episode 187 of the Belligerent Beavs podcast, the official Our Pets' Heads Are Falling Off. It's threat level midnight. Oregon State football. Will we ever win again? Good question. Stage of the season, and it's been 2 weeks into the season with 2 home games that Oregon State has been favored at the beginning of both. Not ideal. Hello. My name's Terry Horstman. I am happy, I guess, to be here with you tonight. Hi, JP Bertram. And hi, Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian Page. Joined, as I always am. You two are a sight for sore eyes on this Sunday night. We didn't even let a full day pass before talking about this shit show.
Well, technically.
To put it in a long story short, Oregon State loses 36-27 to the Fresno State Bulldogs without a long snapper, and Trent Bray swore on national TV. And some people are more mad about that than the game itself, which is insane.
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. And your Oregon State Beavers are 0-2 before heading to Lubbock, Texas, for a game that I will say we have no chance of winning. And I'll happily eat crow if I'm wrong.
I wouldn't say that.
We have no chance of winning.
Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. I'm going to put it at 0. I'm in agreement. But yes, it's not looking good.
It's not looking good.
Can I tell you why I think there is a chance?
Can.
The offense played well. They almost had 600 yards of total offense.
I agree.
And the defense played well. Fresno State was 1 of 8 on third down conversions.
The defense didn't play well.
They didn't break 200 yards in passing or rushing. Although all the chunk plays they gave up were you're right. Problematic. You're right.
It's
right.
Hard.
But the offense played well enough that they could get into a shootout with Texas Tech. I don't think it's likely at all. But if you have your long snapper back, it's a possibility. I think there should be a level of hope.
There are a couple of silver linings.
I take back what I said.
Wait. Yeah, so as long as we don't have to snap the ball on punts or field goals. Yeah, I think there are definitely some silver linings from this. I think Maalik Murphy's play individually is one. I think Gundy answered
it's an audition
a little bit.
Sorry.
And I agree. he's still here for now. I don't know that there was ever a chance he was going to play more than 1 year as a Beav, even if things had been going well. But I do think if you were hoping to see, as we all were hoping to see better quarterback play from the opener to game 2, I think that certainly took place. They were able to move the ball. Clearly, we got more than just Trent Walker involved. Taz Reddicks looked great. Murphy and Reddicks clearly had some chemistry going. The running game wasn't perfect, but it was better. Hankerson wasn't getting blown up 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage every play anymore. It was only like 1 out of maybe every 3 plays where he had a linebacker already down his pants by the time he got the ball. So there are still issues on offense, but overall they answered the biggest questions. I don't know. We'll get more into this bullshit, but apart from this game, how have you guys this weekend's been going?
Exhausting.
What's going on?
That was a big part of it.
A very fun week 1 NFL. Your guys' Niners gave you guys reasons to smile this afternoon. I imagine all the Seahawks fans listening to this podcast are probably pretty pissed off right now. If you're a Beaver Seahawk supporter,
rough weekend.
But
rough weekend.
I thought I was going to be in their shoes.
Yeah.
There was a moment. Yeah.
I would have gladly given up a 49er win for a Beaver win.
I mean, I don't know. That's a tough trade for this week. That's a tough
playing
trade.
the Seahawks. Right. I hear that.
Yeah. But yeah, we opened up fall ball Little League this weekend and we got beaten both games. The first one was closer than today. And then I leave that game yesterday, come home. Somehow, like, I didn't even do this on purpose, but like I had seen your guys' comments throughout the game, but I wasn't really checking because we were like middle of our game during that.
There were lots of them.
There were.
Yeah, but I also, for some reason, got no notifications from ESPN app, like, about the game itself. So I was like, cool. Like, my biggest worry is always like, I'm going to record the game and watch it later, but it gets spoiled, right? Like, something crosses your path and you're like, well, I guess I'll watch it. Instead, I had nothing other than your comments, and they were still fairly vague if you had no context. So I did.
This is a disgrace into let's fucking go, all caps.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, okay, I don't know how this all ends up.
Just wow.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
And wow could mean anything.
With like 20 minutes of silence on each side.
Yes.
Could you imagine
I did subject myself to the terror of watching that game.
Yeah.
And then we lost
could you imagine
today in Little League, and I go, what happens if the Niners lose today? Like, I have nothing to crutch on right now because I'm like, can't wait for basketball season. No, can't do that for the Beavs.
Valkyries playoffs, maybe
the women's basketball. What?
Golden State Valkyries playoffs.
Yeah, but Valks lost to the Minnesota like yesterday.
They did, but they're still going to the playoffs. It's only regular season.
Yeah.
It's like the last couple. They clinched a spot, but they have to. There's some stupid scheduling conflict, so they don't get to play their home game at Chase Center, which sucks.
It's like a concert or some ridiculous.
No, it's
shit.
like it's a
be a good act.
tournament.
Oh yeah, tennis. It was just as bad as
the
labor tennis fans.
I think it's even worse. If it was like Slipknot, you could be like, all right, guys, you're just gonna have to play tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah, or go to Oakland.
Right.
There's a perfectly fine arena in Oakland.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you've got the Valks. The Valks are one of the best stories in sports right now.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll take the Valks.
Oregon State football is not one of the best stories in sports. Neither, and nor does it sound like your Little League exploits are one of the best stories in sports right now.
No,
but it's a long season.
We got 12 more games.
Some runway. There you go. That's the spirit.
Like 8 more weeks. Yeah.
All right, so we're done.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Well, we couldn't, in good faith, allow you to watch that football game after.
But I did.
We watched that football game. Well,
but I did, and
that just shows how big of a fan you are.
I had to see it for myself. And you know what's great was the Mini Bebe watched with me, and he kept being like, "Oh, I think we're gonna win this," and I was like, "I haven't checked, but I don't think we're going to." And he's like, and then Fresno State scores. He's like, "I still think we're gonna win this." And then we scored. He's like, "We're totally gonna win this." My God, I told you. He's like jumping on the couch, and I was like, "Dude, I don't think that's gonna happen." And then, of course, they drive down and end the game, and he's just like, "You were right. I don't know why I thought we'd win this." Like it was like
it was demoralizing.
I was like the emotional roller coaster of every other fan that watched it in real time through my 8.5-year-old kid who watched it on delay, even though his own father was telling him what the outcome is likely going to be without fully spoiling.
You don't know shit.
The outcome. Yeah.
Man,
I just know this already happened, son. Can't change it.
I couldn't imagine watching, or like if you got updates from the ESPN app saying what the score was, because it was pretty back and forth, and then going onto Beavers Twitter, it would be so confusing. Beavers Twitter was burning. It was on fire with kerosene being poured on it every single time there's a long snap.
It was one of the more interesting games ever. Like the guy, it was Ted. What was his last name?
Lasso.
Not Ted Zappa. Ted Lasso was on play-by-play. It was like, I have
Ted
no
Robinson.
idea. Ted Robinson, exactly. Thank you, Ted Robinson, who I think does a great job. By the way, shout out CW.
Yeah.
I thought,
and he was great with the Niners.
He was like, he's like, I can't even begin to think how you'd explain this game to somebody who hasn't watched it. It's like someone who checked in with me. He was like, how's the Beavs game going? And I was like, I don't want to talk about it. And I also can't because I don't know how. And yeah.
There are no words.
It was fun. He was funny, or maybe it was Ryan Leaf that said it. But when one of our offensive linemen got caught on the hot mic after a holding call, yelling "fuck," and one of them, I think it was actually Ryan Leaf.
It was Leaf. It was Leaf.
Said who was like, that tends to be the general vibe in Corvallis.
What a popular opinion today. They were funny. Ted, Ryan, and Nigel Burton were all pretty good on the call, I thought.
They were.
All right. So, man, all right. Let's
Terry, what were your general what were your takeaways other than the obvious of long snapper issues?
So, my takeaway was even before the long snapping was started, we thought special teams was a shit show, with the exception of Caleb Ojeda, who I think looks like a pretty great kicker.
Yeah.
And Dylan Black got hurt last week. So there was a whole week to prepare for this. So either Jackson, Black's backup, looked fine in practice, and then just, all right, game day.
That's the word.
Come on.
Yeah.
Lights come on, and you shit the bed. Like,
which happens.
Like, I can empathize with all of that. I don't empathize with Chuck Knobloch, but I can but for this to be
the yips,
a complete total meltdown of epic proportions on special teams. I'm like, what? I'm at the point now where I'm like, it's worth asking the question, what the fuck were you guys doing all summer? What were you doing all spring? This is like, we've been ripped for being too soft on coaches on this podcast before. We even at the point where I think we all agreed back in 2021, it was time to part ways with Tibesar and promote Bray to the defensive coordinator position. It's still like, oh yeah, but here's the good and the bad with the blah, 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 whatever. Nothing against you, my dude. I would fire Jamie Christian today. Oregon State special teams.
Yesterday.
I would fire him yesterday. Because Benny, we started talking just about, all right, it kind of seems like Bray's in over his head, and that not to dump fuel on the dumpster fire of social media reactions, but people are asking or contemplating moving on from Coach Bray or making a coaching change, whatever. And we're just at a time of the year right now where you can't really do it. You could if you want to, but also it's like,
if you want to sabotage the entire season. Yeah.
If you fire Bray now, I don't know what potential gain that even presents you, unless you think his long-term replacement is currently on staff. And even then, you're putting that potential replacement in a precarious position. So even if you don't think Trent Bray can coach a lick, I still don't understand the logic there. But in terms of position coaching, because there's people in every level of the staff, this is how we discovered Bray was a superstar defensive coordinator to begin with, because someone who wasn't getting the job done was let go, and Bray filled those shoes. I'd rather see what these young special teams
position group was excelling.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know.
Man. That's my biggest. That's my biggest takeaway is that I've seen enough with this special teams unit that a major change is necessary right now. I don't need to
let's just a couple years ago. I mean, we hired them in last year, but we didn't have a dedicated special teams coordinator.
Christian was
until we hired him,
according to the website. And
we hired him because it was a shit show. It's not really changed. I mean, that's the biggest factor was we had no coordinator. It was a shit show. We hired a coordinator and the shit show got worse. I mean, that is, if that's not grounds for termination.
Right. And that was an area where
looking at this clearly.
We can go back to the peak of the Smith era too. It was, and we can make fun of me for the things that I complain about, but I was kind of always underwhelmed with special teams and thought that players and talented players making big plays, from the kicker to kick returners and people on the blocking unit and stuff, made up for that kind of thing. This is so inexcusable for a college level team to be in this much disarray. I have other pretty big takeaways as well beyond that, but that's just that's the main one.
But let me ask you this, like, if it was the backup long snapper was looking good throughout the week, which I think, Jay, you had said that's what sort of
that's the word
being whispered. That's the word. I mean, there weren't really any special teams fuck ups outside of the long snapper, which were a lot. And I don't know if you can really put that on the coach. Like, if the backup long snapper can't snap the ball in the game, that's not really the coach's fault. That's just a player not being able to execute.
But you got to look at the entirety of the forest. Like, I mean, if you're looking at a single tree, sure, but like this has been a 2-week absolute meltdown on special teams.
Yeah, special teams wasn't good against Cal. I guess, so, like, if you're making the argument, which it sounds like you are, that special teams has been an issue at Oregon State for a while, including the 2 games this year, schematically, then I agree with you. But I think a lot of people were calling for him to be fired because of what the long snapper was not able to do. That's not a valid reason.
It's not a valid reason. I'm not surprised that that's people's reaction to it, but it's just a setup that, like, you know, mediocre teams don't have problems like this. Like, I think this was one of the more embarrassing losses without just actively take credit away from Fresno State, because they're clearly doing a better job and are ahead of schedule retroactively from where people thought they were going to be this year. But I mean, beyond special teams too, I think defense was in the right positions to make plays. Jaleel Tucker made a great one. I thought Dexter Foster was pretty good. There are some others as well, but then there's just these stretches where it's like, have any of you ever tackled before?
Yeah, the tackling was atrocious. The tackling was atrocious.
That's ridiculous to have. Yeah, that this should never happen when you have a team that is coached by a head coach who's a defensive guy who is elevated to this position on the strength of the defense. And the defense took a big step back last year. A lot of that was losing talent. This year, it's commensurate or better than what the talent on defense was last year. And the effort is bullshit. Like, go back and like watch some of these plays, and it's just Olay arm tackles that they're getting ran through while, like, Fresno State was doing this. This was part of the quote at halftime that got, you know, lost because Bray said the word fuck. So everyone was like, ooh, but he was like they didn't do anything to harm us. Like, we gave them all of this. And it was just, you know, it kind of felt like both the team melted down in the last 2 minutes of the game in the first half and the second half, and like forgot how to play football. And you can't just, you know, point your finger at one play, one player, one coach, but it was inexcusable effort, I think, in all 3 phases.
I think when you have something like this game that is as novel in the grand scheme of college football, how it occurred, all the other circumstances, the offense rolling 500 plus yards. And I think it's one of 3 times in history that a team has gained 500 plus yards on offense and not won the game. And like, I understand there's this like rarity, novelty, but I think that has to be highlighted as a fact of not like, oh, wow, what a weird game that was an edge case, with looking at patterns and realizing like, realizing that this is something that is compounding and becoming more problematic. And it isn't just this like one-off situation where you just go, wow, hats off to Fresno State.
It was definitely not hats off to Fresno State.
No. And I want to ask you guys a question, because we talk about tackling, and I think that maybe this can set up a different conversation or a later conversation. But like Terry, we've been friends for 17 years. Benny, us 20 years. Terry, maybe 18 years. I don't know. But how many of those years and when was Oregon State good at tackling? When were we not complaining about arm tackles or weak tackles or lack of effort on tackles?
When Bray was the defensive coordinator, I think it was
bingo.
Really good. But
bingo.
Yeah. I would push back on that when we were in school. They were it wasn't the 85 Bears out there, but that was a disciplined, high effort, I'd say overall well tackling team, to the point when they had games where tackling was an issue. It stood out. I don't think most of the Riley era was, I'd say, quality tackling.
Our school era, though, level. We went through a bit of a build back under Riley, and we did have a season or two where there's a lot of youth on defense, and they were great, talented players, but their inexperience showed, especially on the tackling side. Mm-hmm. They ended up becoming pretty elite defensive players and putting together as a unit a very stout defense. Yeah, but there was definitely still years through
09. I thought it was good. We would have to like kind of go back and really look at numbers and maybe even watch tape. And if we want to become a grind the tape podcast, then I'm down.
No,
but
I'm already busy enough.
And then there's like 2010, 2011 were awful, and 2012, the year that Riley took him to the Alamo Bowl, and that like the whole Anderson era. I don't know that a single tackle was accounted for
ever made
by that defense. Oh, we just waited for them to throw an incompletion. But yeah, I agree that this is something that this isn't the first defense that's ever looked like this, but. No, given how last year went.
But when was the last time our defense didn't look like this?
When Bray was the defensive coordinator.
2023.
Yeah.
When he was solely focused on being a defensive coordinator. I'm not trying to like bait anyone into like saying whatever, but I'm going to come out and just say it. Like,
he's a defensive coordinator.
But all of this adds up to, again, comes back to Bray being maybe not ready just yet to be a head coach.
Sure.
And I worry that we're wasting his prime defensive coordinator years.
I agree with you. I think it becomes really, really tricky, though, because like in a perfect world, you would have Bray go back to being the defensive coordinator this year and have someone that comes in. The problem is that who comes in? It would almost have to be an interim coach. Right. So, but
who's going to come into this situation where they go, whoa, they pushed their own guy that they were celebrating, retaining out the door. The guy that was loyal didn't get on the plane. And all of a sudden they're ready to make him walk. Like, this is a very precarious situation right now for the entirety of the program.
But the only reason
it all hinges on Bray becoming a true head coach.
Yeah. Yeah. And
there's no other way out of it.
Oregon State
there's no other positive way out of it.
Oregon State made bed when they decided to put Bray in as a head coach. And I don't think look, I deleted Twitter for a reason and I was on it way too much on Saturday. But people
I deleted Twitter that I was on it.
But people were saying like, why did Oregon State put Bray in that position? Like, why didn't we go and look externally? But may I remind you, everybody, and I will say everybody was very excited that Bray was put in as a head coaching job. But I do agree. Like, I don't think he was ready for it. And I think it's clear as day that he is not ready to be a head coach. And I really hope that Oregon State is starting to put a board together of who they want to go after this offseason.
It's a precarious position because of the position he's in. Like, we can't have this conversation without mentioning that if we hadn't gone through the most unfair, ridiculous bullshit in modern college football, we wouldn't even be talking about this, because Bray would still be defensive coordinator, because our coach wouldn't have fled and left for the first team that would have accepted him because our conference got ripped away.
I thought about
so
that.
Like, you have to have that conversation. Like that's why he's here.
No,
that's literally why he's here.
But all of those things that led up to it, I mean, are factual. But I really don't know if Smith was here for the long run.
No, he would have.
And you have to take him at his word when he was asked, was it because of the realignment and the money and all that? And he said, no, it was none of that.
You don't have to take him at Smith's word.
Okay,
you do not.
You don't have to take him at his word, but you have to assume that maybe if that wasn't,
he would have left for USC or UCLA. I have a hard time seeing him accept. Like he wouldn't have been offered an SEC position.
He would have leapfrogged no matter what. Period. I don't think he'd still be here right now. I don't think he'd be here right now.
Yeah, I think the opportunity opened itself up for him to make an easy decision.
He had two other options that same offseason. He had UW and USC.
He did not have USC.
He had a chance to go. Yes, later that year.
What year?
The year he left.
USC would have offered the head coaching position to Jonathan Smith before
I'm saying
Lincoln
those openings
Riley.
Were available, or is it UCLA? Either way, I'm just
UCLA was opening, and there was a chance there, but it's not a secret that USC's his dream.
But
job.
I mean, just because he left for the Michigan State job doesn't mean he wouldn't have left.
Bray wasn't elevated in anything close to normal circumstances, and it's unfair to keep ignoring those circumstances as we have this discussion. That doesn't mean he was ready for it. Maybe there is a world where you hire someone with it, like it's been reported by multiple places that Brent Brennan, who went to Arizona, was the runner-up,
wanted the job,
and would have accepted.
I know from inside sources he wanted the job.
Maybe he would have accepted it and kept Bray on as defensive coordinator, and maybe that could have been great. Job. But we have no idea if he would have kept Bray around, and what happens in that instance. Like hindsight's always 20/20.
Right, because you were trying to retain players that were.
The job's also gotten worse since then.
It has, and you had a leaky boat that you were just trying to plug with holes, and trying to retain players. So I mean, hindsight being 20/20, like the university probably should have taken a little bit more time to weigh their options and not just put the fan and player favorite in at the head coaching position.
Well, the players that want him to stay didn't stay.
Well, right. So I think that you can weigh it either way. Like, did the university make the right decision? Probably not, given what we know now. At the time, I think it seemed like the right decision.
It did.
Well, probably not. And as it stands, I don't think that Bray can't be a great head coach. I don't know if he's
more time
there
as a
yet.
Coordinator.
Yeah.
He was a coordinator for a year and a half before he got put into that position.
I celebrated him getting back in front of the defense this year, but I just don't think he can split his time like that.
No, he can't.
I think we were jaded. We were jaded on thinking, oh, great, the defense will look good again with Bray behind it. And then we were like, we didn't look at the other side of the coin where it's like, yeah, but he's still got to be a head coach. And all the stuff I'm just going to layer it all in. The comments about him not being a CEO type, and that's what head coaches are like, and that's not him, and he just wants to coach. That's totally fine and fair. But as a head coach, you can't say that. You can't even give off that vibe, period. You have to pretend you're CEO until somebody literally calls you a fraud and the entire world knows that you're a phony. Look at what Gary Anderson did. That guy did plenty as a head coach, got plenty of gigs, and he was not a head coach. But did he ever admit to it? No. So that bugged me back in August. But now you look back at other things, and it is hindsight 20/20, but it's like these practices where people are getting injured all the time, like severely injured. Why? How is that occurring? Then you've got other weird like details that I think coaches with experience don't miss that are costing us games. And again, you look at it and go, how? Why? And maybe our head coach isn't ready to be a head coach. But then you go, oh, and he's also splitting time being a head coach and a defensive coordinator. Like, it's too overwhelming. It's way, way too much for him to take on. And I don't think it's his fault. I think, honestly, you get to go higher. It's the athletic department's like allowance of him to do this and not be like, no, you're the head coach or you're the defensive coordinator. We're hiring you one or the other. We're going to get the money is there. We're going to spend it for this. The fact that they didn't even put their foot down and say like, nah, sorry, we know where you're at. And they just go, sure, you're everyone's favorite. Go.
Yeah.
Do what you want. That in hindsight was a terrible, terrible decision.
Right. And as the athletic director, so Scott Barnes, right? Like, you want to give your new coach leeway to run the program how he wants it. And he's still only in really his second year. So I get where the athletic director and athletic department is coming from, but now is the time. I think like you, regardless of what you thought in the past, like now is the time where some changes need to happen. And I don't think that firing Bray is the right decision right now. You're not going to, Terry, you on it, like give you credit where credit's due. I was so fucking mad yesterday. I was like, changes need to happen today. Bray needs to be gone. But you brought up a good point, which is that does nothing for anybody. We're going to put an interim head coach in his position who's going to be even less experienced than Bray.
Corey Hall.
Bring Corey Hall back.
Hashtag Hall in, baby.
But you have to realize what is happening right now, and you have to trim the fat like before it becomes too much, right?
Well,
like
you have to also maybe send the message. This mediocrity is not okay. Oh, I mean, it's some mediocrity. It's not even mediocrity. No, they're not even near that point yet.
Well, and like, we're gonna have to send a message. We're gonna be in for another era of Gary Anderson if we're not careful here. Like, unless we make some very calculated moves this offseason, we're staring down the barrel of a gun right now.
Right.
Yes, but not Gary Anderson level gun. Like, this staff can still recruit. The school can still pull talent. Gary Anderson could not recruit, could not pull talent. And whatever staffers were behind him also could not. I think that we are much more rich in that world now than we were then. Maybe some of it's residual from the Smith era.
Yeah, I was going to say that might not be the case going forward.
Sure, but it could be if we can iron out and make the right decisions or put people in check and hold them accountable and like say, you fix your shit or like, you're next. Like right now, I think everyone from the athletic department down thinks they need us. This school needs us. Like, we have to be here because this fan base wants a competitive program, wants a quality athletic department. And if we leave, no one's taking these shoes. And they could be right, but that mentality is what's driving a lot of this product, the product's quality down.
Right. And that's a lot of good points there. And I think the overarching kind of maybe reality, what you're getting to was the best hope is for Oregon State is Trent Bray figuring it out. And
it's the only hope. It's the only hope.
There's not evidence.
Unless Jensen Huang walks through that door, that's the only hope.
Believe, right. And I don't want to talk about Jensen Huang for another hour of an episode unless he gives us reason to.
Please give us reason to.
But I don't. I think if you want to give in to the most impassioned whims of Oregon State social media right now, that would be fire everyone and burn it down. And that's just not gonna help this season. I'd say, like in our group chat yesterday, I said, Maalik was clearly the best part of our team today. And not that I'm not trying to sell anyone a bill of goods. I'm not trying to sell anyone a bridge, but we've got something at the most important position. I don't think there's any way we don't
we haven't had it a long time.
I don't think there's any way that we don't start 0-4, but you shouldn't want to burn everything down because it was a much better week for Maalik, for Gundy, and the offense than it was in week 1, with the possible exception of the offensive line, which really tested my heart health on Saturday.
What was it? 7 false starts at home?
Yes.
8?
Something like that.
7 or 8.
Well, and it was the way it happened too, because we had the ball up 15-14 with 1 minute and 57 seconds left in the first half. And Ted Robinson goes, "Oh, Oregon State could go 2 for 1 here." Just like it's, Steph Curry dribbling down the court with 35 seconds left. Like, just as easy as that. At that point, we had been penalized 1 time in the entire fucking 28 minutes of football. We had been penalized 1 time. We got penalized 6 more times before halftime. Only 5 of them were 5 of them were accepted, because one of them was when AJ Windsor kicked the ball as it was rolling on the ground, which resulted in a Fresno State touchdown.
That went viral too. That was so embarrassing. It went viral.
So fucking embarrassing. And they couldn't stop moving. So I don't want to give I don't want to give Gundy and the offense too many flowers, because it's as a unit, you guys still have a ton of fucking shit to figure out. But
the pieces are there, though.
Hank wasn't getting destroyed the second he got the ball, which was nice to see. The emergence of Taz Reddicks was great. There was clearly an element of the offense that wasn't overly complicated and was Fresno State's giving us this drag route. We're going to take it until they fucking defend it. And then once they did defend it, they had nice counters and some misdirection shit that worked really well. And that ended up opening for the eventual go-ahead touchdown that didn't stand for very long. But to David Wells, they were so worried about Reddicks and Walker on the seams that Wells found a lane, was able to make a move. That was there's so many things schemed open. And even I can't get mad at Gundy for the 2-point conversions once we were just gonna abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Trying to kick an extra point. The first 2-point conversion, a true 2-point conversion attempt, Walker got wide open, and Maalik either too excited or he was too open, just kind of airmailed it into the first row of the stands. It was one of the Maalik made, he had it felt like 100 attempts. So there's a handful of ones he probably wants back, and that was one of them. It didn't even go down as an attempt because it's a 2-point conversion. It's not an actual stat registering throw. But he was good. He was good to really good 90% of the time, I felt.
Yeah.
And there was actual good plays that were capitalizing on what Fresno State was doing.
Yeah, and creating those opportunities, there was sequencing that was clearly much more thought out.
There's something to chew on. Riley Williams made a really nice play. So, I mean, I don't even know
there's something there. There is pieces of that game to build upon for sure. The offensive line, I agree with you. That was almost as frustrating as, in many ways, it was more frustrating than the long snapping issue. Not really, but in the sense that the long snapper just couldn't perform his job.
Well, and then
it wasn't a lack of focus, but the offensive line, it was you shouldn't get 1 false start at home.
Right.
But you got 7.
And I know it's a lot of guys who weren't taking snaps last year. These guys have all been none of these guys are in the program for their first year.
Yeah, that was inexcusable for sure.
Ryan Berger gained points for me when he just yelled "fuck" into the ref's microphone. that was awesome, and I will forgive almost any offensive lineman who immediately reacts like that, because that's some type shit that Talisi Fuaga would do, or News Kayabunam would do. Joshua Gray was always too reserved and collected for that. Brandon Kipper would do something like that.
Composed.
So it's, the O-line plays, slightly above average, then we'll have a competent offense. Even maybe way more than competent.
Yeah.
I don't know that this defense is, looking at the next 10 games on the schedule, I don't know that this defense is going to allow us to win any of the games that we shouldn't, already win. I think you're going to have to score 40 or plus to get a win against Houston. You're for sure going to have to score that much to get way more. I'm not even thinking about wins at Texas Tech and Oregon. I've fully resigned myself to all right, we're 0-4. how do you navigate the rest of the waters to put lipstick on this pig? Because I think that's the only way that there's something fruitful to take away from this season. So,
but here's the other thing is that like this season might just be really long and really shitty.
And we've had those before too, and we're still here. That might just
be what happens. And let me tell you again, going back to the fodder that I saw a lot of people saying, I'm done with this team. I'm not going to any more games. I'm not giving my money to an athletic department that won't do anything. To those
canceling my season tickets.
Wait, were you those people? Was this Oregon State Twitter or Minnesota Twins Twitter? They're sounding very similar right now.
To those people, I just want to say, like, that is the mentality that we clown on Oregon fans for. Jumping on the bandwagon when it's convenient, not going to games when your team's not playing up to your standards. Like, if you're going to be a fan, like, this is part of it. Unfortunately,
it is
this year, and it sucks. Like, but we're all in it together, and the guys on the field are still playing their asses off. I really believe that. Like, the guys on the field, they're not trying. They want to win more than we want them to win. The coaches want to win more than we want them to win. The athletic department wants to win more than we want them to win. Like, that's the thing, is no one is out there not trying and wanting to lose. It just sucks. It just sucks. Like, we have a coaching staff that's inexperienced. We have guys that are getting playing time for the first time. Sometimes this shit happens. And unfortunately for Oregon State, sometimes that's more often than not. But don't give up on this team. Like, I really do think that there are some pieces to build on. And if not for the rest of this season, then for next season. But
yeah. I'm not giving up on this season. I agree. I don't think anyone should be giving up on this season saying, like, is Oregon State gonna win a game? No, we could go, and whatever. But like,
no, we've got Lafayette on the schedule. We're gonna win again.
You have to hope that there's growth.
Yeah.
And I think we did see some growth from week 1 to week 2 in certain phases of the game. We maybe saw a lot of compounding issues arise in the area that we were weak in, special teams. And I do think there is still a balance of letting players, coaches, staffers, administrators grow, but also sending a message that if you're not doing it fast enough or well enough, it is unacceptable and you're gone. So, like,
hell yeah,
whether it's a player or a coach or anybody, and I hope that level of accountability exists in our athletic department right now. I don't have faith that it does, and that's why I do see the side of some fans that do want to give up and are ready to or already have, because
it's the much easier decision.
Well, and we've seen no sign of anything that like will adjust. We've never seen anybody like take a situation and go, here's how we're going to change things. I mean, the last time that happened was Tibesar getting fired and Bray being named interim defensive coordinator. That was literally the last time that anything across the entire athletic department was a smart and right-timed move.
It doesn't help that we're less than 2 years from having a top 10 showdown with Washington in Corvallis.
Yeah, of course.
With an off chance to make the college
football
playoffs.
How did we get there?
We were there 2 years ago.
The athletic department hired a coach that made a tough decision, but it was the right decision to let go of a defensive coordinator and elevate a linebackers coach who galvanized the defense and made our defense our best unit. Mm-hmm. It was the right decision, and it was a smart decision, and it was 5 years ago. Like, what has happened since? That's been something that you could go, I trust them to make this right. Nothing. There's nothing. And I see it. But as a fan and as someone who bleeds orange, I want it to get right. Like I want something to right the ship, and I don't need to like prescribe what that thing is. I don't know. I don't need to say if we fire Christian, it's going to be better. If we fire Bray, it's going to be better. If we write it out, it's going to be better. I don't know what the answer is. I hope it exists. But I hope if it exists, that people who are paid, money to figure this shit out, do figure it out quickly.
Well, they're not going to fire. They're not going to fire anyone today. And I think,
well, it's 9:30 at night on a Sunday.
Well, that's sometimes the time to do it. So our top defensive sort of assistants are AJ Cooper, the secondary coach, Kyrie Marshall, edges coach, Ilyasa Tuiaki, defensive line coach. Those would be the top. Like if we had a sort of similar Tibisar scenario, those would be the names that would kind of be elevated. So is there a way for Bray to like kind of look at this from 30,000 feet and kind of like, okay, I have to be a head coach now. And that doesn't mean, abandon the defense, but this idea was bad. Like this was the wrong choice. And then the trickle effect. So whoever, I don't know who would be like I don't know the hierarchy of our coaching staff beyond it's Bray, it's Gundy, and a defensive coordinator would have been equal to Gundy, but it's Bray again. So if you
forgot Rod Chance, he's
and Rod Chance, yes.
Yeah.
No, I did not say Rod Chance. So Rod Chance may very well be up there as well. And so,
but hold up real quick, Terry. When Bray was defensive coordinator, he still did coach the linebackers, right?
He did still coach the linebackers.
Yeah,
but
he's a linebacker coach.
Well, what? So in 2021, Tibisar gets relieved of his duties. Bray is promoted to interim defensive coordinator / linebackers coach. And then when something like that happens, you lean more on your quality control assistants. You lean more on your graduate assistants, and the younger coaches, fill in areas that don't get talked about on podcasts much or on Beaver Twitter.
Yeah.
But so if Rod Chance is the co-defensive coordinator, thank you for pointing that out, JP. Again, just say like if Bray came out this week and said Rod Chance is taking over full defensive coordinator duties to a lot, like he doesn't even need to say anything more beyond that. But like the implication would be for Bray to focus more on being a head coach, and that way you kind of you see what Rod has with a little bit more leeway to play call or scout scheme, whatever. And obviously Bray is still heavily involved with the defensive side of the ball. That's kind of the only obvious move in season that I can foresee right now.
Yes, only one.
And it seems like one that would make a lot of sense.
Right.
It really does.
You also don't have to announce that. Just do it.
You don't have to announce it either. Yeah, you could just do it.
You really could almost defensive coordinator.
Yeah, you could, but it almost seems like the coaching staff needs to throw a bone to the fan base. The fan base is up in arms, and so rightfully so. I mean, we're right there. We're right there too.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's so mad.
People want a head on a steak.
So to show that you're
free beers on Beaver Street for the Houston game.
Yeah.
Not unless they're in the largest bar in college athletics.
The longest bar.
I almost think that I almost think that Trent Bray is leaning on the crutch that he feels comfortable with, right? Like being a defensive coordinator is where he found a ton of success, and that's where he feels the most comfortable. And so I think it's almost like he's like, I know I can succeed here. And he's unsure of how to be a good head coach. And I mean, this is just like assumption, but like if you feel like you're good at something and not necessarily good at something else,
then why
you're
we
going
hire
to lean more towards
Rob
what you're comfortable
or Aki, whatever his name is?
Who knows?
The special assistant to the head coach. Essentially, he was hired to be like a GM co-head coach. I mean, like he was supposed to take some of the head coaching duties, the administrative duties from Bray, so he can focus on defense.
I don't get that at all. Like, why are we creating this fucking weird scenario where Bray doesn't have to be a head coach?
Why are we doing that? That's insane. That's what I'm insane.
Why can't we have a structure like every other team?
Yeah.
Where our head coach is our head coach and our defensive coordinator is our defensive coordinator.
Yeah. This is what this podcast has devolved into. The things we were hopeful and wanted in season 1 of the Belligerent Beavs podcast were so much grander and huge. And now here we are in 5 years. Like, I just want to know who the head coach is.
But God, all of that leads me to believe that Bray is super uncomfortable as a head coach. Along with the quote that he said about, I'm not a CEO type. Like,
he might not want to. I don't know if he wants to let go of that defensive coordinator title. And
he doesn't want to go the defense. Does. He doesn't want to go control of the defense because he knows he could do it better, and that's
but it's
totally fair.
You're the head coach. Like, it's your team.
But he did it as a concession, clearly.
Right. I mean, it's just, and I don't even know if that would. Do you think
if he didn't go on the plane, he didn't go on the plane, he decided not to go on the plane, the whole story. Do you think he walked into Barnes' office and said, I didn't go on the plane, make me head coach?
I don't think it happened quite like that.
Do you think he ever?
I think he definitely made it known.
But before, it would have everything we know about him publicly. He
had no aspirations to be a head coach. None.
That's what he said, and that's what we believe, and I have no reason not to believe that. So it would have made a hell of a lot of sense to just go with Jonathan to East Lansing and have your same job in the Big Ten.
No, he wanted to stay, but it didn't mean he wanted to be the head coach.
You think so? You're saying that you think he may have been pushed into that position, one that he didn't actually want. If that's the case, then shame on the financials.
Look at the financials. Was he paid like a head coach? No, he got a pay bump as a young defensive coordinator. Like, think about it. It was not something.
I don't think he takes that job unless he wants it.
I think he wanted it for the sake of the players that he cared about and the school that he loved, not because he thought, I am a head coach. This is my chance.
I'm ready. I'm ready to be a head coach.
And businessman, like Scott Barnes in businessman mode, is just like, if this works and I pay this guy, like he's like the 130th highest paid head coach, like it works.
Like, look at the NFL. Every quarterback is a rookie contract. Like, unless you're elite, otherwise you're toast. You're done. You're out of the league.
I think there was some level of desire for the job, but I don't think he initially saw it as like, oh, this is a great, like, I don't think that's the first place his mind went as everything was falling apart and we knew Smith was headed to East Lansing. But he's here now.
Me personally, I just need to see him go on the fucking head coach, and I will be a head coach, and I'm going to run this the way I want to as a head coach, and here are my decisions.
And I don't want him to fucking apologize for swearing at halftime.
Yeah.
Like,
agreed.
Yeah, I know
that probably came from the athletic department.
I know you can't do that every game, Trent, but once in a while, like, it's fine because, like,
this watch South Park. You're good.
And
I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of trust that that's going to happen, to be honest. Like, I don't think Trent Bray is going to figure out how to be a head coach.
It has to.
I mean, it has to in order for Oregon State to be successful, but I don't think it's
not even to exist as a football program that anyone cares about. Like, we're not going to just go into the open market and get some other experienced or like coach who's on the rise.
We can find somebody better than what Bray is right now.
We wouldn't get anyone on the rise.
Bray out. If Bray leaves, maybe. If Bray chooses to leave, maybe. If we push him out, that is a death sentence.
I'm less worried.
So.
I'm less worried about that because college football is the worst people across the planet, basically.
The perception across coaching circles will be, go to Oregon State and they will hate you when you leave. They will treat you like shit while you're there, even if you're a beloved ex-player and alum. That is the reality.
But a beloved ex-player and an alum that has gone 1-9 in his last 10 games. I mean, there would be some understanding there for sure.
I still think people would be hesitant, more so than even the conference issues.
Okay. Well, we'll have this conversation before game 1 next year, where recently fired from Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer has been given the Oregon State job with Trent Bray as his defensive coordinator. Yeah, I mean, there's
the only caveat. If there's some partnership where Bray was like, I lured him here because I wanted to stay on and he agreed and he'd be a great head coach. That I'm fine with. That I am fine with. But I don't think that Oregon State's going to let Bray go. That we're going to find a better solution unless Bray leaves what's successful.
What's the threshold for that? If this team goes 2-10 this year with this schedule, I don't think anyone in any coaching circle would hold the university accountable for dismissing a coach who put up that record.
I wouldn't hold anyone accountable for wanting him out or as an administrator choosing to have him leave. But
it's still not a desirable position.
I think that we dig ourselves in a deeper ditch than we were in when he took the job.
But look at Washington State. Look at Washington State. They lost all their players this last offseason, and they were able to get, was he the coach of North Dakota State that came on board? He was a really good FCS coach.
North Dakota State's coach Matt Entz went to Fresno State.
Yeah.
Okay, even a better point. Yeah. Right? Like you can get an up and coming FCS coach
but they didn't have Wazoo kept their coach during all the chaos where all the publicity and the lights were on these two programs.
Yeah.
Jimmy Rogers came from South Dakota State, Benny.
Yeah.
South Dakota State.
Yeah.
No shade there. Most people can't distinguish the two Dakotas. I hardly can. And I share
they
voter
look
with
the same on a map.
Yeah,
they look the same on a map.
One's on top, one's on the bottom.
Imagining them.
Both really fucking good FCS programs. Funny enough,
right? And Wazoo got one of the coaches, and Fresno State got the other. Oregon State absolutely could get an up and coming FCS coach.
Right? We could have if we didn't go with Bray. That's my point. I think it's do or die with Bray. It has to be because,
but he might die this year. I think. That's kind of the barrel that we're looking down.
Yeah. And I think if he dies, it's done. I truly think that.
No.
I do not think that any coach at any level that's going to make a difference with our program is going to touch our program with a 100-yard pole. I don't. Not if we.
But Fresno State was dog shit last year.
But Fresno State didn't literally divorce their, golden child, beloved son quarterback who left because of circumstances, and then celebrate the guy's loyalty that stayed, elevating him and celebrating him as a head coach to fire him later, no matter the circumstances. We're still in the midst of those same circumstances.
But I think any coach that would come in.
The landscape's still not Bray's fault. No, but my point is
I get what you're saying, but I think any coach that you would have a conversation with would look at it and go, okay, Trent Bray went 2-8 last season. I can do so much better. Like, I will not have to worry about being fired. I'm going to come in there. Like, that's how coaches think. Like, they think very highly of themselves. There's an ego that I think that would have them look well past, like, well, that happened to Trent Bray. I don't necessarily want to be put in that position if I don't have a good first two seasons. Like, they're not going to think that they're going to have a shitty first two seasons to begin with. So I don't think that would be on their mind.
Or in the back of their mind, they'll go, damn, that guy was loyal, stuck around, was a ex-player, could have left.
He didn't do it on the field.
But the leash was still that short. I don't know. I think people don't want the red marks on their resumes.
Sure. I understand that logic. I think we are past, especially if we're thinking in terms of, because I'm not advocating for firing him right now.
No, I'm not either.
Season, but I don't think 2 full seasons is. I don't think 2 full seasons short leash territory. That's, a lot of coaches don't get that much runway,
especially with the schedule that we have this year.
So it would be different if there is a rally and the second half of the season a lot of growth. That's what we're looking for at this point. Is we're looking.
That's all we can look for.
Yeah, and I hope to see growth.
As I said earlier,
on the
you
field
look for that
in Lubbock, and I probably won't even look at the scoreboard, and maybe they'll surprise me. But I'm just gonna be hoping to see growth in
just duct tape over the scoreboard on your TV.
Yeah, right.
Notifications on the phone off.
Right. I might.
That's what I had. It was great.
I'll probably, because the team was a lot better too, which made it more helpful. But during 2022 and 2023, when the team was getting better and stakes were getting higher, I would just put my phone in fully other rooms during games, and then I'd come back to like 100 messages from you guys, and then like, you know, 1,000 notifications on Beavers Twitter. But yeah, that might be the way to go. Anything else on the Fresno State game? Was there anything we didn't talk about? Any highlight, low light?
No, but I'll just reiterate, Maalik looked great. I mean, I think we saw week one, the line didn't give him a ton of time. He looked a little bit uncomfortable week one against Cal with the line, and not so much that the pocket collapsed around him and made him frantic, but more so that he kind of was anticipating that the pocket was collapsing and maybe would, like move a little bit too soon. But I think he looked great. I mean, hats off again to Gundy for mixing things up a little bit more. Showing the
and exploiting.
Exploiting, opening the playbook, and actually utilizing things that aren't just like that. We have nothing in this whole playbook
we haven't
other than these easy outs, and
we haven't even talked about the Trent Walker reverse pass to Jabari Johnson yet.
Oh yeah, hey, Tacoma, stand up.
Right,
that was I'm all for getting Jabari more involved.
Didn't Jabari get hurt?
He might have on that play. He got lit up.
He did get lit up on that play. Trent
needed to throw that ball a hair sooner. But yeah, he got lit up. I like Jabari a lot, but right now I'm just like, Maalik's the best part of our team, and I don't want to do this interrupting his momentum or flow or anything like that. It made a lot of sense when it was DJU and Aiden, but I actually think Maalik's better than DJU, and I don't think I'm on a lonely island there.
He's more complete.
But I think I have liked what I've seen from Jabari. But if he wants to, hopefully we start blowing teams out and can get Jabari into the game to be under center for the fourth quarter.
Or Jabari just starts going nuts in practice and maybe challenges for some playtime. Also, I don't know what's up with Dylan Black, but I do hope that he's okay. It didn't sound great. Sound like it's a long-term injury.
Oh, really?
And he's a guy who Bray didn't want to talk about it. He also didn't disclose what the injury is, other than it's a long-term injury. I mean, he's a guy who battled and beat testicular cancer last October, and I truly hope that his health in general is okay. But I also, sending good vibes in case it's something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, I hope that the backup can, figure it out over this next week.
I hope I don't even notice he's there, because that's a pretty good sign for a long snapper. Don't even notice. It's just
I mean, at what point though is it just better to run through all four downs and give it your best than it is
the choice.
That's
what is there to lose?
Analytics
if they're fucking up in practice.
Yeah.
If they can't figure out practice,
said it.
Go for it on fourth, no matter what. Go for two, no matter what.
We already doing most of those things.
Yeah, we still haven't gotten a conversion this season.
Really?
Two-point conversion. How many extra points have we kicked?
2.
Yeah, it was 2. Well, that we attempted 2. We attempted to kick 2.
Yeah, the first 2 of the Fresno.
It didn't even register. It's like if you look at, I don't think it goes in as Oregon State attempted for 2, but if you look at the play-by-play, it just says 2-point attempt failed, because it doesn't register as a missed PAT because Ojeda didn't get his leg on it. Mm-hmm, the only kick he missed was that field goal where the ball was just rolling. Yeah, stop long snapping. Set it up the other way and just roll it straight back.
Can you do where you just throw it back instead of snapping it between your legs? Are we sure about that?
Yes. You cannot. It has to go.
That's flag football.
Legs. No, I know. Yeah. I mean, it's flag football, but you can't do that. Are we sure?
Can the center go into the start of a front flip?
It's Flag Day football.
Flag Day football.
And throw it back as he's front flipping, and land on the correct side of the line of scrimmage.
That's Beavnana ball.
Let's do better. Is it better bus?
Beavana Bazanas. That's what we should do that.
Bazana's ball.
Bazana ball.
Also, what did you guys? Was that yesterday or 2 days ago? Did you guys see Travis Bazana like absolutely scorched? Was it a walk-off home run? And the taunt, just the celebration down first, just flex, screaming out, like pumping and jumping. Like I was like, where is he? Like I couldn't tell where he was on the base paths in the video, and I was like, he hasn't even gotten to first yet. Like the lights had already flashed dark and on and back off and back on again, and he still had been jumping up and down the first baseline celebrating that.
That's so
home
awesome.
Run. It was awesome. Shout out you, Baz. Good work.
Hell yeah.
It's bet or bail, Benny, what you were referring to.
Oh, bet or what?
Bet or bail. Like, are you going to bet
or bail?
Or are you going to bail?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Even before the season started, all three of us predicted a loss in this game. I predicted 28-35 loss. Benny, you predicted a 14-31 loss. JP predicted a 24-27 loss. Benny, let's start with you. You predicted a 17-point loss in Lubbock for the Beavs, 31-14. Sorry that I don't have the over-under up right now, but I will stall until I can get it.
23.5.
Until I can get it 23.5. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. You still got the Beavs covering it? Oh, I got 24.5 according to BetMGM.
I thought it was going to go up because 23.5 honestly is a juicy line right now.
Now it's 24.5.
I think Oregon State will score 21 points. I think they'll with Maalik, he'll be able to get the 3 tutties, but I think Texas Tech drops 56-21.
51. Okay, so
their offense is really good.
JP, you initially predicted a 3-point loss for the Beavs in this one. Bet or bail?
Fuck you, bail. Bail. I had misread the odds. Originally, I thought that was somebody would score 24.5 points, and I just guessed who would pick what.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So my bad. My bad. I do have a little glimmer of hope that Texas Tech may take their foot off the pedal.
Possible.
And maybe overlook this game, because there's nothing about this team as a talented group that says that they couldn't hang. Not saying guaranteeing or predicting win, but there's nothing about the talent of this team that says that they couldn't hang. What will show up on game day as a staff, and how will they scheme, and how prepared will people be? How disciplined will the team be? That is a different factor. That is the biggest wild card. I think we've seen up until this point what to expect, but I'm bailing. I don't even know what score I would guess now, but I don't think it's going to be 70-0. I don't think it's going to be even 17 or 50-3. I think that it will be somewhat competitive in some ways, and one of those ways could be the scoreboard, but I don't think there's a chance that we're going to win this game at all.
Fair. I predicted a 1-touchdown loss. I'm clearly bailing on that. I have a glimmer of hope too, but I'm not going to put it on record until they give me a reason. I'm going to say we lose this game 55-7, and I'm going to hope to be wrong.
I hope you're wrong.
Like you're reverse Ducks jinx all over again.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Hey, if it works, I'll be really excited for the following week.
And if it works, I'm going to keep talking shit about Oregon State all season. Yeah, it was a beautiful fall day here today. I hope you guys got great weather as well. Football's back.
A little cloudy.
Fall ball, baseball.
Yeah, it was cloudy.
But it's still a great time of year.
My favorite season.
To everyone listening, we've all watched Oregon State teams way worse than this, and we're still alive.
Not as embarrassing, but way worse.
We've had games that have We'd have to. We'd have to. I don't want to relive some of those moments, Benny. So I'm not going to have this argument.
For the toilet bowl. We weren't alive for the toilet bowl.
We weren't alive for the toilet bowl.
You have to imagine that was pretty
That wasn't a loss though. That was a tie.
Yeah, but I'm saying that game itself was probably very embarrassing. Obviously, there were circumstances around the weather and everything else, but like. There's been worse. Was there as big of a spotlight on them then, even 10 years ago, as there is now? One, as a microscope on Oregon State, but two, college football in general? No.
Yeah.
That's what makes this sting even harder, is just everyone's watching us. And now everyone wants to laugh at us.
Yeah.
I think,
Judging.
We've seen worse, but have we felt worse? No.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, I agree.
We're also getting older. Like, my fucking back hurts. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was clipping the lawn with my little clippers and
you clipped the lawn. You hung
even
shutters.
Em goes, does your back hurt? And I was like, yes, dude, it does. He's like, why don't you kneel down? I'm like, the grass is wet. I'm not kneeling down. Just shut up.
Well, and kneeling hurts just a different part of your back.
Yeah. My knee for some reason feels like it has a rock in my kneecap all the time. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Ooh.
Oh, I think
I found a way to crack. I found a way to crack my lower back, and it is like my new obsession now.
Oh, I used to have a chair when I had a real office in like a building, not my house. Like that was the right height where I could lean back, and it would be like all the way back.
Oh, dude,
it was
the best.
So good, so good.
Man,
I need to go back into a work from office.
We just need to have Funky Paul Molina chiropract on all of us.
Yeah.
We'll feel
10
years younger.
I saw him at the Cal game.
No.
Yeah.
I saw him crack Annie's neck on my couch. Well, he sat on my couch and she was just sitting on the floor and he was like, and I'm like, not the way. Sorry.
The way you see you see guys kill people in like bad action movies.
Yeah, it looked like that.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. It was like, no, not partaking. I'll never go to a chiropractor.
If shit
she
gets
said her neck felt better. I'm like,
oh, that's good.
I don't know. My neck just feels progressively worse, but it seems the same.
That's a great
I'll
call,
just keep
Benny.
it that way.
If this game starts to make me angry in a way I can like feel it like making my day worse, I'm just gonna turn on Mortal Kombat
or go to a chiropractor. Let him snap your neck and be like, I died. Nope, I just had my neck and spine realigned, and now I feel better.
Oh, now I want to go
wish
to
I
a
died.
chiropractor.
Like, or just go to some guy on the street that looks like they're hopped up on something and be like, snap my neck.
What's the score? What's the score? Still 50-0. Snap it again.
Yeah.
Sir, we only recommend doing once. I said again.
But this is the third time, sir. I don't care.
Until Trent Walker gets in the end zone, keep snapping shit.
Do it harder.
Well,
next to the kneecap.
I think that was another perfect episode.
Mafia shit.
You guys.
Yeah.
A perfect
mafia
episode
shit.
By a perfect podcast.
Of mafia shit.
Covering a perfect
full of
team.
Mafia members.
Full of mafia.
That are hit by the mafia.
That's what last weekend felt like.
We're just going to become a mob movie podcast. Like next week, it's just a bunch of hot takes on the controversial ending to The Sopranos with no mention of Oregon State.
No, real mafia, dude.
We'll keep the belligerent. We'll interview a real mafia member.
I've got 2,000 plastic meatballs I could sell you, Terry.
Stanzo brand fedoras? How many?
Well, you have to buy the whole batch. It just doesn't make sense for me otherwise.
Oh,
I'll look what I can work out here. Yeah,
we can violate the one fedora per group of friends rule for this.
Should we all wear fedoras? I don't ever own a fedora.
Become a ska band.
Oh well, Benny has 200 Stanzo brand fedoras that he can sell.
They stink, but they're good quality.
Yeah, they smell.
And you have to buy all
really
200.
bad. They smell awful, but that's how you know they're good.
But they're nice.
They're nice. All right, we gotta go. This
Perfectly
has been
executed. Well done.
You're
better than
We're your best friends from college.
I know. I'm getting to that.
Yeah.
I know what I'm supposed to do.
Why not just your best friends?
My best friends. My best fucking friends in the whole fucking world.
There we go. That's all we wanted.
It's going to change the course of the season, Terry.
No, it's to imply that we all went to college together so that it establishes.
This is the Wings comment again.
We're not even watching a game right now. It doesn't apply. Anyway,
tell everyone we're your best friends, period.
This has been the Belligerent Beavs
and we'll win this
We
Saturday.
are the Beavers. You are amazing. My name is Terry Horseman. You can follow me at Terry Horseman across social media channels and at Terrence Horseman on Instagram.com. And of course, Benjamin Lawrence Sebastian Wehage, aka Benny with the Good Quaff, aka Benny Bowl Game, aka Benny Burner, aka Benny Bedlam, because he's fucking crazy, folks, aka Benny Blastoff. And you can follow him at Benny L1986 across channels. And the man, the myth, the legend behind the ones and twos, keeping us steered in the right direction, who keeps making faces at me and telling me to do something that I hope I am about to do, JP Bertram. It's at the Trial J on Twitter. That's at the _Trial_J, because he's too trial to be real, and at JP Bertram on Instagram. And follow us as a show, for gosh darn sakes. That's at Bellig Beavs on Twitter, at Belligerent Beavs everywhere else. BelligerentBeavs.com, BelligerentBeavs.com/merch. Get your merch before it goes, because it's
before we're
not going anywhere. Before we're indicted.
Before we're sued.
For unlawful optimism for a team without hope. And that's how you define belligerent. Yeah, shout us out. You can follow us. We're on Instagram. We're on Blue Sky, the Blue Skis. Having Brewskis on Blue Ski. Facebook, Red Note, LinkedIn.
YouTube.
We're on LinkedIn. And
we are on LinkedIn, technically.
Are we?
Yeah, we're on LinkedIn. Yeah. We got 3 new jobs last week.
Add it to your resume.
Yeah.
Belligerent Beavs, open to look and also hiring. We're doing both things. Hiring a new special teams coordinator. That's the last coaching cheap shot for this week. Remember, no matter what they do, no matter what they say, no matter what they take away, including long snapping, apparently, they still
take it away. Get rid of it.
Spell chop them without hope. So chop them. Just get the fucking ball to the punter, please. Please. That's all I ask.
And don't lose hope.